Today is the longest in the entire rally, 414 kilometres of liaison just to take the teams across the border into Mauritania. Awaiting them 394 kilometres of special, finishing at the mining town of Zourat. Rainstorms, mud, fast tracks and camel grass will test the toughest. With such a mammoth day in front of them, there was no rest for the wicked, or indeed for the superstars. The fastest riders on the previous day's stage are the first to set off for the next days. It's really hard being a biker, says Cyril Desprez. But good sleep on my big, thick mat. Esteve up early as well. Multilingual. And David Castor saying it's going to be a very long liaison, whole day in the saddle, and then we are getting ready to start. Long day. Well, as the stars have had at least some sleep while their mechanics fix the bikes, for the privateers there's not always that assistance. Riders who don't have a deal with an assistance company have a trunk. Fuel company Elf carries it around from day to day for them, and in it is everything. Their sleeping equipment, their tools, their spare parts, and even some mementos of home. The first job every night is to get it out, fix the bike, and the last job to take it back to the plane for the next day's stage. So the dust storm prevails as the riders head out of the bivouac and onto the monster liaison section. It's dark, it's windy, it's blowing a gale. 4:30 in the morning, the stage gets underway. And once the sun rose, the riders would see what awaited them. Well, some had problems even after the liaison section. It was absolutely a quagmire, very muddy indeed, because after the dust storm, a rainstorm set in. Everybody was filthy before they'd even arrived at the start line. Plenty of cleaning up to be done, and in some cases, a whole lot more. Little surprise, says Cyril Desprez. We had some rain on the road, but we said we're bikers, we're not scared. But when we arrived, we saw what sort of mess it was. He said it looks like we've been riding through the Auvergne in France. Even rally leader Coma said it was a very difficult liaison. A lot of rain made the terrain very tricky, and the bike's been covered in mud. I had to clean the radiator and change the brake pads, which were completely useless. So just for a change, factory stars and privateers in it together. Clean the radiator, said Giovanni Sala. In 10 years I've never seen so much mud on the Dakar. These bikes are a bit damaged as a result, especially the radiators. Now we're going to head on into Mauritania. But there are even worse problems for Helder Rodriguez. His tyre completely destroyed. Stage winner in Portugal, he's now 11th overall, and he only gets to start the stage courtesy of teammate Pedro Bianchi Prata. The other Portuguese Yamaha rider donates his rear tyre. He'll then have to wait for the assistance trucks before he can get started. Any hope of a high finish is over. He's done his job as a teammate. Don't forget, this isn't the special, this is the liaison section. So eventually, after the nightmare, dark, wet, muddy liaison, the stage underway. Overall leader Mark Komar again controlled his pace to match his rivals, but he managed to increase his lead over Isidre Esteve, his closest competitor. Jordi Villadoms, the number 21 KTM, claimed his first stage win of 2007. He was fourth yesterday and was sixth on the leaderboard overnight. He's still sixth, but he's now less than 10 minutes behind Cyril Desprez. But Comar able to maintain his advantage just by keeping a weather eye on his rivals. It was up to them to try and make a break. And the pros make short work of the dunes. Riders had expected there to be a lot of sand today. There was, but it was fast sand. Chris Blaze recorded his best stage result of the Dakar so far. He was third today. He remains fourth position overall, having moved up from fifth yesterday evening. He's 3 minutes behind David Castor. Well, with Villadoms winning the stage, Comar in second and Blaze in third, it was up to the others to try and match their pace. Giovanni Sala claimed sixth position, Helder Rodriguez was seventh, and Castor 8th place, 8 minutes behind the winner, and in real trouble as Chris Blaze comes up fast behind. Cyril Desprez decided to branch away from the lead group 100 kilometres from the finish. Gearbox problems ensured that his strategy didn't work, however, and he dropped 11 minutes. So here's how it looked after the longest day of the event. Jordi Villadoms claiming his first stage victory in this year's event. Comar keeping the rest under control. But Blaze charging up the order, fourth place now and closing on Castor as Comar controls the event. Body saying, well, that was a really complete stage. It had everything. At the beginning it was very fast and flat, and the kilometres passed very quickly. Then a lot of off-road, very tough physically because there was a lot of camel grass in the dunes. And then the last track was stones and sand. It was supposed to be an easy stage, he reckons, but it was very difficult. Especially with a bit of off-road. I rode in front, said Comar, keeping company with Isidre. Things went quite well. It was a difficult stage though. First one in Mauritania. Importantly, one day less to the rest day, and we're all going to need that, the riders and the bikes.
It was fine. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. The liaison was harder than the special. I mean, more chances of accident. But it was really interesting. Just it rained this morning and we had a bunch of mud, and I mean the whole liaison out was pretty interesting.
It was a difficult stage. In the beginning we went pretty carefully because the visibility wasn't good. Then towards the end we picked up the speed.